So we'll see. Baby girl, here, can you see everybody? I don't feel well.
Oh.
No, Violet.
Is your daughter feeling better?
No.
Oh, my daughter had a fever yesterday too, randomly. She doesn't say anything hurts. She just had a fever and just wanted mom.
And then 24 hours?
Yeah, today she's been okay. Luckily they're on spring break, but today she's been a lot better though. So it was weird.
I've had the kids do that before, where it's like the fever and nothing else, and you're like, what? But she also barely has any teeth, and she's almost 2. So every time I'm like, is this the teeth, or are you actually sick? So I have no idea so far. Hopefully it's gone tomorrow, though. She's like, I need to call Grandma and ask when she had Tylenol last, because I left to go do birthday party stuff. Hi, Nicole.
Hey, no fun. Did I hear you have a sick little one?
Thank you.
Oh, that's sad.
So Kelly's having some issues with coach relations. So we're going to probably start without her as soon as, I'm assuming we'll probably have a couple more people, but
yeah,
got a credit card problem and doesn't rank, so they're trying to fix it.
Oh no.
Yeah, so she has to do it right now.
Yeah, probably before Thursday, right?
Yeah.
That's the issue.
Like 9 p.m. or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Which reminds me, I should probably check the back office.
I know, right? Me too. Now that you say that, I'm like, oh, geez.
Wait a minute. I'm not sure if I. Okay, so Stephanie. Okay.
Yeah, who else do we have?
Okay. Oh, she's like, oops, I don't want to be on video.
I didn't either. This is like, I've been this way since I woke up this morning.
Beautiful?
Yeah, no. I shouldn't show you my hair either. It's like pretty bad. So.
Oh, well, I like tried to, I don't know if you saw my post, I tried to like wave it, and then it was just like, kind of like went out this way. The more I tried to like fix it, the more I just kind of like fluffed like it, anyway.
You're like, no, that's not what I'm going for.
Because I had to go, and now it's just kind of like random kinks.
Your hair's so cute, that length. I love your cut.
Thank you. It takes getting, and I've had it short before, but every time I'm like, wait, how do I do this again?
I know. It's like you just have to find the right way to style it. Once you figure out how you like to style it, then it's good. But always an adjustment.
It's true. Okay, so should we just start?
Yeah, let's just get going. Maybe just have you start with announcements and stuff. Do you want to do that?
Yeah, for sure. Let me move this over. Then I want to be able to like see the notes and see you guys. Oh, wait. Okay, she's already recording. Never mind. Okay.
Oh, okay.
So, blah, blah, blah. So we're going to talk a little bit about the announcements from the cruise, and just if anybody has any questions about them. So I already posted them in the team, but just kind of like as I was hearing them and not really any detail. So the first one was about the Beachbody On Demand with fixes. So I think that will be huge. I know that even like my husband is like crazy excited about it. He's totally fallen in love with the cookbook. And it's so easy, right? And it's like literally like you use things in like all the different recipes. And anyway, so her brother, who is a chef, is going to be launching videos on Beachbody On Demand for Fixate, and showing you how to make them. From what I gathered, showing you how to make them, and the portion control for the recipes as well. So they didn't really give like a ton of detail on that. I don't even remember if they said when it was launching. It's any time now, right? Like in the
Yeah,
next-
they didn't give us a date, so I think it's just whenever it gets up, I guess.
yeah. So I'm assuming that that's pretty soon if they didn't like say summit, but so I think that'll really help for us to push Beachbody on Demand or to keep the club membership a little bit more, especially if they've done a container program. And so Beachbody on Demand is also going to launch in like 140 different countries and in their own currency. And the way that Carl was explaining that was that this is kind of like their sounding board for where there's demand. So I know people are always asking like, when is Beachbody going to launch in like different countries? And this isn't even really that. He was saying like, this is for like Beachbody on Demand. This is not for Team Beachbody. It's not for like coaching in other countries. It's just for like right now getting it out there. And he did mention like which countries were pretty big with it. Did he say India?
I can't remember. But I mean, they're not subtitling it or anything. Like it'll all just be in English.
Right.
So they're just gonna see where it's popular, right? And then from there, they can provide shipping like for programs and things to those areas if it's popular.
Yeah.
Because he said there's some places like T25 is super hot. Maybe it was India. T25 is super hot in India or something. People are watching YouTube videos, or I don't know.
That's what he said. People were like crazy on YouTube for 220.
Yeah.
But at least it'll be in their own currency. So he didn't really give like details on how we were going to be able to like share it in other countries or whatnot. But so that's coming soon. And I feel like that's still exciting because that's kind of what will get the ball rolling to launch BeachbodyCoach.com eventually somewhere else. I assume it'll probably be the UK first. Yeah.
So I can't wait till they go international. It's gonna be
It's gonna be awesome. It'll be neat if we can like have like a team trip. Let's go to England and we'll put signs out, everybody. On the streets. Okay, so I guess I don't have any family in the UK. I remember I had this, I have a friend who's like really huge in Sensi. When Sensi launched in Australia, she like went there and they had big convention and like they just recruited like crazy while they were over there. So another one of the Beachbody on Demand changes, they're all like changes to the actual way it operates. So like, correct me if I'm wrong, if anybody was listening to it. You'll be able to like hit different buttons at the bottom to like go back and forth easier. And what was the other one? You'll be able to download up to 7 programs onto your phone immediately so that you don't have to always be logged into On Demand. I feel like Joelle's laughing at me. Are you laughing at me or are you laughing at something else? Okay. All right. And
Joelle's always laughing at someone.
I'm like, wizard. What did I say? And this will be on Apple first. So Carl explained that Apple is like, the Apple products are kind of like, they're the same all across the board. So it's always easier for them to test everything out on Apple first. And then they start implementing into Android because Android has so many different platforms that they just can't test something on one Android device first kind of thing. So from what I gathered, it'll probably be a while before it's on Android. So we're probably talking like 2017. And then also recovery drinks. I was a little confused about this. He said, I think he just meant like the chocolate version is going to be coming in an orange version.
Yeah, because the current, like the results in recovery is an orange flavor. And
That's
some
the one
people
I
were like, yeah, some people were like, well, I like that flavor. Why can't recovery come in that flavor? So now instead of just chocolate, it'll be chocolate and orange.
But I was like, aren't they really kind of the same thing?
They are, but I think they're going to start phasing out of the P90X results in recovery eventually and just do performance line because it's better.
See, what makes me sad about that, though, is that the performance line has a much smaller quantity for a much higher price.
It's true.
The X one is like,
it's huge. Yeah.
both of us use it and it gets us through the whole month, and it's like $25, whereas the recovery one is like $45 and it has 20 servings.
Yeah, it's true.
It wouldn't even last one of us through the month. So here. That's the crappy thing about that. Anyway, so if you go on YouTube, I'm sure you can check it out. They had a whole commercial for it. Beachbody is launching a reality show, and it's they've narrowed down 20-something personal trainers that are vying to become the next Beachbody super trainer. So
I was like so excited about that. I'm like, that is crazy. It's going to be fun.
yeah, we've now entered the reality TV market.
And Carl was just like, I've always wanted to have a reality show, so we decided to go for it. Why not?
When are they doing that?
It's
I can't remember.
here at Summit.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
It's going to air week after week, and he said that he wasn't quite sure which channel it was going to be on. It's going to be on one of those, like, not HBO, but like one of the like specialty channels.
Oh, okay.
And he said it might be on some other thing too. But we do get, apparently we get to vote down the 20. So that'll be interesting. I'm not sure how that'll go. I don't really know how we'd promote that, but I'm sure we'll come up with something. And then the last thing is Country Heat. Woo-hoo! Kelly's excited.
For Summit, like that launching at Summit is going to be so fun. Like we're better than Nashville to do that.
I know. True.
I actually posted about it already, and already I've had a couple people ask about it. So I thought that was interesting. My mother-in-law asked about it today, and I felt that was really helpful because she doesn't exercise, and she doesn't exercise. She's like one of those people that literally buys everything and never even picks it up. So that should be interesting, but I know she like loves to line dance. She's overweight. She doesn't want like high impact. And so that was Carl's big thing. And if you haven't watched his commercial on it, you gotta go YouTube it because it's pretty funny. So it's just Carl sitting around a fire with a cowboy hat and his horse. And anyway, I won't spoil it for you, but definitely give it a watch. And what he said about it was that he had watched, and I'm totally going to say this all the time, he had watched Autumn get pulled up on stage at the end of one of her events in Calgary, and she they did line dancing. Now, she already has a dance background, and so he saw that, and that kind of got like the idea going in his head. And he approached her about it, and her words were on the board were that she was super excited as soon as he told her, and then her fear really set in. So if you've ever gone on YouTube and listened to Autumn's story, there's several videos of her talking about how she kind of got with Beachbody, how she went to fitness training and all that stuff. But she went to school for dance, and she would always talk about the people that weren't supportive of her and kind of how it affected her in the path that she took. But she left dance school after a teacher told her she was never going to be any good and never going to make it, which is kind of weird because she got into dance school. But anyway, I don't know. So she leaves dance school, stops touching dance, doesn't do anything for dance for another 5 years. And before, that's how she kind of got into the fitness training, moved to LA, whatever. So she says that she approached Carl several times and was just like, look, if you want to give this to somebody else, like, just, I'm okay with it. Like, I'll be fine. Just, you can give it to someone else if you think another trainer would be better for it. Because she was so anxious and so fearful. Joelle, stop it! And you're like, no, stop laughing. And so he just said, no, this is yours. I want you to have it. You're the trainer for it. Just take as long as you need. And so she kind of shared that little bit of the story with it. And Carl's whole thing that I forgot to mention was just that he wanted it to be something for everybody. And he mentioned how there's this epidemic in the States and 3 million people are like morbidly obese, and I don't know, 10 million people are obese, and that they just need something that they all can do. And so that's why I'm most excited about it, about being Autumn, is because everybody loves Autumn. Everybody's hearing about Autumn. She's the highest selling trainer. And this is something that those people that can't do 21-day fix or that have to severely modify it can start with, and then we can get them into 21-day fix, and we can get them into like that. I just feel like it's that starting point where there's no jumping. It's easy steps. And yeah, the country part, who knows how that's going to go. Because not everybody loves country music like me. But, and I mean, honestly, like I saw one of the songs, which was Cotton Eye Joe, and I was like, oh no. I hate that song, and it'll never get out of your head. But so yeah, I'm excited though. I'm excited to give it a go and to try a different approach to a program about trying to get to the people that like size, but size is intense, you know? Like,
yeah, size is hard. Well, and I kind of see with this one, it'd be a good one to like at a family function, family reunion, a youth group thing, be like, hey, I'm going to teach you guys a line dance. Like,
that's a good point.
At like local things to get people involved and be like, guys, this is a workout. Do you know you can do this workout at home, you know, and kind of get people excited that way. So that might be a good one for more like physical, like location type things you might do. Or
well, speaking of that, if anybody wants to go to size a day early, there is certification to be a country heat trainer.
Oh, in Nashville.
Oh.
$250, and it's on Tuesday, and you have to go online and register before it fills up.
Country heat trainer. That sounds like spicy.
So I don't know. Like, I would say that would kind of be the situation when you would use it in. I don't know. It's not like it'd ever be at the gym or you'd ever like you might have like a church class where you know, like you teach everybody. But I still feel like it'd be kind of nice to like have it say, hey, I'm certified in whatever. But sadly,
instead of a wedding singer, you could be a wedding dance country heat person. It's a wedding reception. Be like, I don't know.
There is a girl here in Guelph who's doing that. I've been to a couple of her classes, and it's actually pretty good. And she has a lot of people coming, and she goes to like community centers and everywhere doing this. So she's really,
See, this is the thing. Like, it's the same with country music, right? Country music has this like crazy fan base. So I just think that it's going to be a lot bigger than we give it credit for. But that's all the announcements I have.
Witness.
I feel like I talked a lot already, so.
That was awesome. I'm excited. I'm excited about that.
Yeah.
So we wanted to share some of the takeaways that we got from the cruise, besides the fact that it was a freaking amazing experience, and you all need to get on the Punta Cana wait list. I don't care how low you are on the wait list, because Jaylyn, she was number 8,000. Isn't that what she said? She was like 8,000 or 5,000, and she
8,000.
got in. What?
Yeah, she was 8,000, and then when I was in line for the photo op, I met this girl beside me. I don't know if I told you this already. She was only got off the wait list 3 weeks before. She was 8,000 and something. We were like talking about like how many Success Club points we got, and I was like, I don't know, I have like 8. She's like, I have 20. And I was like, oh. And so she has 4 kids under the age of 4. One is 4 months. One is 18 months, 3 and 4. And she has 20 Success Club points by the second week of the month and was on the cruise and had just like got off the wait list. And she's like, I don't know if I should go. And her husband pushed her. Anyway, I was like, oh my gosh. People's stories are nuts. But yeah, so it could happen.
But that's probably why she got off the list, because she gets Success Club points and it bumped her up higher.
It does bump you up higher. The more points you get, the higher you climb in the wait list. Did
you notice you moving this month's the letter they sent out?
Yes.
Yeah. So I was like 4,000. I thought it was like 4,300, and this month I'm at 3,100. And that's 1 month. So
I want to check where I am.
Yeah, if you hit Success Club, it could happen.
So anyway, get on the wait list for Punta Cana because we want to be there. We want you to all be there. Hopefully we'll get to go too. But some of the biggest takeaways I got was from the top 10 panel, which was awesome. So let's share some of those, and then Nicole and I are going to share some of our takeaways that we had. We actually ended up sitting by each other on the plane, which I don't think was like destiny.
I know, it was not planned. It just happened.
Like I didn't even know she had the same flight as us. And then I asked the old grandpa sitting by her if I could sit by her.
You left Matt with all the kids again.
What?
You left Matt with all the kids.
Well, my kids were all in weird scattered places, so I rented them all a video. So they all had a device. Matt took a nap with Max, and Nicole and I talked for 4 hours. So, so we'll share some of that. But let's see. I'm trying to think some of the takeaways. Well, here's one of the takeaways that I got from the top 10 panel, and then you can you guys can share some too. One was that Megan Ewaldson?
Yeah.
She shared that. So I have always kind of been dragging my feet about Facebook fan pages because I'm like, dude, I get no one comments, no one, like, I have a lot of fans, but I don't get a lot of interaction. So I was like, well, it's kind of a waste, but whatever. Success leaves clues. All the top 10 coaches are using it. So I'll just keep using it. And, but then Megan said something that I was like, I'm going to try this. And I feel like it's kind of the sneaky purpose behind a Facebook fan page. And that is to boost your page. I think it's really important that you invest back in your business, especially with building your audience. So with Facebook, I tried this weekend, starting on Friday, I boosted my page, not a post, but my actual page so that I would get people to like it. So I boosted it with a video. I just did, because I've heard that videos get way more, people will view it way more. So I did just like my video of me doing pull-ups. So I boosted it, and all it said was fitness plus fashion for moms. And I got 100 likes this weekend, and I boosted it for $10 a day, which obviously I can't maintain that budget, but I just kind of wanted to experiment. So then, so that was kind of exciting. But then what I did was I went and I messaged all the people that liked it. And this is what Megan Ewaldson does. So she goes through and she messages them, and instead of having to start a conversation and blah, 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 she just cuts straight to the chase because they are, they're liking her fitness page. So she already knows that they're into fitness. So I did that. I went and copied and pasted a whole bunch of messages to tons of people, to all the people that liked it. Because you can just scroll through your notifications and it will say, on Monday, 22 people liked your page. So I click on what I would do is I click on their name and then it would take me to their personal Facebook page. And then I would I would add them as a friend and then copy and paste the message. And the message was basically like, hey girl, thanks for liking my fitness and fashion page. I love what I do. And I've got a fitness boot camp coming up. It's just a bunch of moms posting our sweaty selfies and our recipes to keep us accountable. So if you're interested, I'd love to help you, something like that. And then I copied and pasted that to a bunch of them. And I got some people that wrote me back and were like, yeah, I'm totally interested. And so I was like, okay, this is a good reason for a Facebook fan page. It's not necessarily for the posts and all that, although I'm sure eventually those will help too. But basically, I was paying for these leads for these this targeted audience of people that I can message and talk to about fitness. So Nicole's going to be trying it in the next few days too. But I was like, this is kind of cool. And anyway, so Megan Ewoldson's her comment in the top 10 panel about how she does that made me be like, oh my gosh, like that's a great reason. That's a great use for, and I know Ashley Smith does the same thing. So anyway, that was one of my big takeaways. Nicole, what was one of yours?
So I think it was Jeff Hill. He went through and he asked the whole panel. He said, I'm going to go through each coach and I want you to tell me what's your biggest non-negotiable every day. So as a top 10 coach, you tell me what has to happen in your business every day, no matter what. And so it was kind of cool because you just go down the line and each coach would share. And so I just jotted down what every coach said. And so the first one said Success Club. The next one said sharing my life authentically is for non-negotiable. The third one said treat it like a business, not a hobby, and which is just always a super good reminder. If you treat it like a hobby, you're going to get paid like a hobby. If you treat it like a business, you're going to get paid like a business. So make it non-negotiable to treat it like a business. Work from a list and not just be sporadic about who you're going to message, what you're going to do. Work from a list so you're organized. Never compare yourself to someone else. I can't remember who it was who said that was non-negotiable to their success. But the moment they start comparing themselves to other coaches, then they start falling behind in their own goals. So never compare yourself to someone else. Do you really well. I think that was the same coach. Is just focus on doing what you do really well. 3 vital behaviors was another non-negotiable. Laser focus in on the task at hand. So pick one task. Don't multitask. Just laser focus in on the certain tasks that need to happen. Be in a constant state of growth and never think that you don't need personal development. Have a plan. That was Melanie. You said you have to work from a plan. You have to have a business plan. Belief in yourself. Let where you are be your story. So if you're in a hard place, let that be your story and share it. You don't have to be, if you're a brand new coach, let that be your story and share it. So you don't have to be in a place of a lot of success to be sharing successes. Just let where you are be your story. And share the heck out of it is what they say. Share it like a broken record. Your story never gets old. That's how people connect to you. Go to all the events, which I can attest to that because I kind of thought the cruise was just going to be it's just a vacation. It's just fun. I didn't really think business wise I would get a whole lot out of it. But I did just because I was so inspired by corporate and by the other coaches that I met that I think you leave events, even just vacation events, feeling like I'm in the right place and I'm ready to work even harder and I'm excited about where I'm going. So be to all the events. Be open and vulnerable when you post and let your struggles be your strengths. Pour into others. I think it was Lindsay Matway who said that. When you're sharing, think about what you're offering other people. Pour into others instead of making it about you. Show up every day no matter what. Be proud to be a Beachbody coach. I think that was, oh gosh, I can't remember her name. It left me. But she says that's her non-negotiable, is just being proud that she's a Beachbody coach and letting everybody know what she does. And so yeah, that was it. I can post that list, because after I wrote it down, I was like, these are all things that we should all be working on, and knowing that all the top 10, this is how they get where they are. I thought that was just really, really telling, I guess. So I can post that list later.
Just curious, how many of you guys listened to the audio that I posted in Team Chic of the top 10 panel? Oh, busted.
I couldn't open it. I tried.
Really? Did it not work?
Open.
I wonder if you had to download the Dropbox app or something. Did you try that?
I have Dropbox, so I don't know why. I can go back and try it again, but.
I know it's weird because it was like an MP3, so I didn't know how else to add it besides Dropbox. Unless, can I add it to the Google Drive? Can you add an MP3 to the Google Drive?
No.
Maybe I'll try that because it was really good. I'm just going to add to what Nicole said, and then I want to hear your takeaways, Jody. One of the things Amy Silverman said about being laser focused is she was like, you can spend 5 hours on Facebook and do absolutely nothing. And I 100% agree. There's some days where I'm like la-di-da-di responding, like looking around, DTD, and I'm like, I have done nothing on my list. Like, that's why I think working from a list is huge. Doing your power hour, like, using the checklist for your power hour, that kind of thing. Because you really can waste so much time and you think you're working, but then you look back and you're like, I didn't message any of my any potential clients. I didn't have conversations. I didn't, you know what I mean? So I thought that was good. And another thing Amy Silverman said was, they asked her, they said, how can you tell if one of your coaches is going to be an awesome coach? And she said, when they start, she said, I can tell that when they just post like they don't care, that I know they're going to kill it because they just stop caring what people think. And I totally agree. I think once your why becomes stronger than your pride, and you're just like, this is who I am. This is my story. This is what I'm doing. If you don't like it, unfollow me, and I'm okay with it. And I totally agree. So I thought that was kind of a cool pattern that she noticed. Anything you remember, Jody?
Well, that covered a lot of it. I think just that part that we both were writing down at the same time. Who was it? I didn't write down who was saying it. Was it maybe Lindsay? And she had just said one way that you can keep your challengers engaged was she asks them, okay, does her spiel about getting them in the group, but then she says, if you stop showing up to the group, how do you want me to approach you? Do you want me to be like a Jillian Michaels and just on you? How can I best motivate you? And I thought that was just brilliant, because I'm like, you know what, if I ask them in advance, how do you want me to go about this with you? What is it that's going to work with you? And okay, I'm letting you know that you've told me these things, and I'm going to come at you with these things to keep you motivated in this group, since we're not in person, we're online. And I just really thought, okay, that's something I'm going to implement from now on with my challengers, because I don't, I say, we're going to have this and this and this support in the group, and we're going to and I check in with them every week, but I didn't have a game plan set in advance with how I was going to keep them in line. So that was something that I thought was pretty special, but everything else, I think you guys already, that I remember.
Yeah, I really like that part too, because I think we all have challengers that just suddenly go MIA, and you're like, hey, I'm trying to help you, but you're ignoring me. So, but if they, I think anytime you can refer to things they've said then you're kind of calling them out based on their goals or their, what Lindsay was saying. That's like, well, you told me that this is what you wanted me to do, so I'm doing it, you know? So I like that idea. I think we need to figure out a way to put it in our, like almost a welcome email or something. You know what I mean? When you welcome your new challengers or something.
Yeah, or like if you had them fill out a form or something that talks about their why, you could say something like that too.
Yeah, that's true.
That's true. Yeah, I was just saying, like, we do that with our new coaches, right? We say, what's your why? And then I come back and I'm like, you told me you wanted to buy a new house. So, or you said you needed to go on to vacation in Hawaii and had to leave your house.
Do you remember anything else, Nicole? I didn't take notes because I was doing it on my audio. I mean, I was recording it, so I didn't write down any notes. What?
And I was yapping in your ear. Am I like on your audio?
I don't know. I haven't listened. I need to listen to it again. I want to listen to it again. It was really good.
They ask good questions.
Somebody on there mentioned that they ask their challengers, like, what do you guys want videos about, or what do you want to learn more about? So that they can kind of tailor their group to the people in it, because everybody's different. I'm just scrolling through my notes to see. Oh, Megan Ewaldson's, you know, what Kelli said when she messages people who like her page, her script. She says, hey, thank you for liking my page. We must share an interest in health and fitness. Can I ask you if you have any specific wellness goals right now? And that's how she starts talking to them.
We need to write that down.
Yeah, I can post that too.
Okay.
Thanks.
Oh, and then one other one was Melissa McAllister. She said, I think they asked her something about like, how do you share the coaching opportunity or something along those lines? And she said, she's like, I basically tell people like, you have to take care of your own health anyway. You might as well be, or you should be a good influence and example to others, friends, family, strangers. Why not make a business out of it? So she just keeps it really simple. And she's like, hey, you have to keep yourself healthy anyway. So yeah, why not make a business out of it? And then she just says it helps you to be stronger every day in all aspects of your life. So that's kind of how she approaches the coach opportunity with people. It's like, hey, you're taking care of yourself anyway, make a business out of it. And she's just really straightforward about it.
Yeah, that's cool. Okay, so now Nicole and I are going to chat about what we talked about on the airplane. Because we just started, asking each other's questions and stuff like that. And so Nicole was trying to figure out her target market. And so I'm like, hey, I want you to describe them like super detailed. And she gave me like a one-liner, and I was like, no, you need to give me like a list of 30 things. So then we started going down, and I was like, describe like the kind of person you want to hang out with at your retreats, like the kind of coach that you want, you know what I mean? Like kind of client that you want
to share, because I have the notes. Do you want me to share so you have like an idea?
Yeah.
Okay. So once we really started narrowing it down, I wrote down they're creative mompreneur. They're genuine, authentic, artistic, self-motivated, super positive, have faith instead of fear, consistent, persistent, in it for the long haul, doesn't make excuses, has integrity, selfless, enjoys being active but keeps things simple, quality over quantity, their personality shines through, they're a peacemaker, they share out of love simplicity and beauty, appreciates nature, true to their beliefs. So, I mean, it really does narrow down the type of person that you're posting to, so you know what to post.
Yeah, like I love that list and it's very different from my list. So I can like visualize already kind of some of the posts that Nicole's going to do, like you said, loves nature. So she's going to be posting like pictures of her outdoors, or like her feet in the grass, or her riding a bike. And I've seen her do posts like that before. So like, I think once you really, really narrow in on the type of person that you want to hang out with, type of person you want to go on the cruise with, the type of person you want, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That you would love to have you on your team, like your dream team, then it's so much easier to post for that person and talk to that person in your posts. So I'll read you mine. Let me see if I can find. Where is it? Okay. I thought I had a bigger list. Okay. Easygoing, drama-free, fashionable, loves to shop, goofy, silly, fun-loving, likes to dance, girl bosses, know what they want and go after it, chillax about the small stuff, funny, confident, ages 25 to 45, chic, has a helping heart, go-getters and go-givers, loves their kids but kind of struggles with motherhood. So that's where like I do my posts about like, you know, the struggle of mom life. They enjoy girls' night outs. They love being pampered and spoiled. They're classy. They're friendly and warm. They love God. They're committed and consistent. They work hard, play hard. They like to travel. They're all about girl power. They're positive and uplifting, encouraging. They see the glass half full. They collect shoes and makeup. Down to earth, passionate, loves food, and that's it. So that's it for now. So you can like keep adding to your list too, but you can see like, okay, they love food. So obviously I'm going to be I need to post food recipes. They collect shoes and makeup, which is true. Every time I post about makeup, I get a bajillion comments, and that might not work for your ideal person, you know. What else? They like to travel. So like anytime I can post about my travels, like I would think that would attract my ideal client. They enjoy girls' nights. They love to be pampered. So if I can talk about, you know, how I pamper my coaches, pamper my clients, just stuff like that. I think once you really narrow it down, and they love to shop, so I can post, you know, outfit posts. I can post like funny quotes about shopping. But that just helps me like know who I'm talking to. So I want to encourage you guys to really make a list of like your dream team and get super duper specific. And then Nicole and I were like, okay, now that we have this list, Nicole was like, well, now I need to figure out whose problem, like what problems I'm solving of theirs. So what did you come up with?
Okay, so the problems I am solving for my ideal clients are, you know, they say I'm so busy, or I'm mom, I just don't have time to work out. I'm always tired. I'm depressed and unmotivated. I feel lost in motherhood, need direction, take care of others before myself. I would rather be creative than work out. So yeah, those are the problems, and you have to be really specific with the problems too. So then you can offer specific solutions. So in our posts, if we're offering solutions to the problems that we already know they're having, that's how they connect to our posts. And they're like, oh, she's talking to me. I have to join in this group, you know? So, I mean, we're not just spitting a product out there or saying, join my Fit Mamas group. Like how do they connect to that? They don't. But if I offer a solution to their problems, like my solution would be, you know, talking about how the simple fitness, even though you're busy, it only takes 22 minutes, you know, or even though it's 22 minutes is so effective. So that kind of speaks to their, I don't have time, or I'm really busy. Or if they say I'm always tired, you know, I found that working out gives me more energy throughout the day, or Shakeology is battling my hormones and helping me deal with depression, increasing my energy, boosting your mood. you know, the whole I work out for sanity, not vanity, that talks to the mom that might feel like she's a little bit lost in motherhood and she needs something for her or to help her get through, you know, the rough days. So, so yeah, write down the solutions that go with the problems, and then that's what you post about is the solutions and the problems.
And I think also not only just being like, here's this, I'm going to solve all your problems, but I think people connect when you share that you've been there, done that. Mm-hmm. So if we can all take time tonight to list like, okay, think of like one-liners that are really paint a picture of where you were at, because you most likely you're describing yourself and you're describing problems you've had in the past, right? So I think it's really smart to like paint a picture of what, like, okay, here's an example. Like, so I used to be a photographer sitting at my desk eating treats out of my drawer while I was editing for hours and hours. And then the weight just kind of just started to pile up, right? So if you can like really paint a picture, and I think you used a line, Nicole, didn't you? And I told you to write it down. Did you write it down?
Well, one thing was, that went along with the photographer thing. Like I've said it multiple times, like I was up all hours of the night editing and I was eating to stay awake. And that kind of just painted a picture, because how many other photographers are like, oh my gosh, that's me, you know? Yes. And then the other one that I've used a lot that it just really was how I felt, but I've had so many people say, oh my gosh, when you said that, like I totally felt it, is when a few times when I told my story, I would say, I got to the point where I wanted to change more than I wanted to stay the same. And there were so many people that when they decided that they wanted to join the challenge group or they asked me about it, they're like, oh, that's just how I feel about where I am in my life right now. I just want to change more than I want to stay the same. So little one-liners that can kind of not just spark people's interest, but help them feel something or help them connect to like, oh my gosh, I know what you're talking about. I'm there too.
Yeah, I think when you can really get like descriptive on, in fact, I'd love to encourage you guys to use a one-liner, like everyone share a one-liner if you can right now of just like a problem that you used to have or even still struggle with that, because I think when you share those problems in really specific detail, not just like, I was depressed, but like, I don't know, or I was, you know, like she was saying, I was eating at night, and you can even get specific. I was eating chips at night, so I can, you know, the more specific and detailed, the more it paints this picture, and people are like, dude, that's me. That's totally me.
Well, Brigida Linford, like hers, I've always had imprinted in my mind, because she talks about her why was really financial, because when she started coaching, she had to take back like batteries and light bulbs and stuff to Walmart. Like anything she could find in her house that wasn't opened yet, she'd have to take it back to the store just to get some cash so that she could feed her family. And I mean, I've heard that from her so many times, but like that, it really sticks in your mind and it makes you feel something, especially if you've been in a similar situation.
Right. So instead of just saying, I had to return stuff to the store, she was like, I had to return batteries and light bulbs to Walmart to get money for food. Like that, the more specific and detailed, I feel like it really paints a picture, and people are like, oh my gosh, like that sucks. Or like, I've been there. You know what I'm saying? So I really feel like that's the stuff that people connect with. So if you can take some time, does anyone have one they want to share? Like just a one-liner they think they've thought of, or that they've heard someone else share?
I do.
I don't have a crazy story either. That's okay.
I've got something I posted, I don't know, sometime in the last 2 weeks, just about starting where you are because one of the things I struggle with is I feel like I have to know how to do it first before I start something. So I posted about that and just said, you know, you just start with what you have today. So.
Love that.
Awesome. Anyone else want to share one? We'll talk about that in a second, Stephanie. We're going to talk about crafting your story, because that's another thing Nicole and I were talking about. But like, I know once I shared how I mean, I feel like you can have multiple stories. So like I shared once how I went shopping with my girlfriends. I even brought my baby shopping. Like Max was like 6 months old. We went shopping at the Buckle and they were all trying on these super cutesy jeans. And I tried some on and I did not look as cute as they did in this jeans. And I was like, little bit depressed about that. I like literally had a meltdown right there in the store and started crying. And my friend was like, I'm sorry, and I just shared how I love to shop, but I hated shopping because it sucked being overweight. You know what I mean? So, and I know that story connected with someone because I had a client tell me that, like, she was like, yeah, that really, like that story, I still related to that. So be thinking of, you don't have to have just like one dramatic story, but it's like little stories. And maybe you can even compile them in like your notes or your Evernote of different things that have happened to you, whether it's financially or, any of the F's that we talk about: financially, fitness, friends, fun, family, faith in yourself, whatever. Start to write those stories down and share them tons and tons. That was what Nicole and I were talking, and Nicole, you tell them what you were thinking about the story.
Oh, what do you mean?
Like just because I think Nicole feels the same way about like,
yeah.
I don't have this big dramatic story,
What helped me is to just kind of ask myself, like, okay, so, why did I decide to start a workout program in the first place? That's a story to share. What got me hooked on Shakeology? Like, what was it about Shakeology that, like, so ask yourself some questions and that will kind of help you create a story. So another one for me was, I've always been a dancer, and after I had my last baby, I went back to dance. I danced with the dance company. I went back to dance, and I was like, I can't do this anymore. Like, I lost my baby weight, and then I had my story where, I was busy with photography, I was editing, and I was eating to stay awake. I gained all this weight back. So that's one story. But another story is, like, I gained this weight, and I went to dance, and it was too hard. I couldn't do it. Like, it was painful. I was too sore, and I kind of was like, maybe I'm too old. Maybe I'm a mom of 4 in my 30s, and I'm on the shelf, and I shouldn't dance anymore, right? And then, I came to this realization that, like, no, you're never too old to do what you're passionate about. And I just have to take care of my body so I can do what I'm passionate about. And I needed to get in shape so that I could dance. And so that was a huge motivating factor in me losing 22 pounds so that I could go to dance and feel good and not be in pain. So that's another story, like, no big deal, really. Like, it's not huge, but it's just something I wanted to do, like, I wanted to be able to dance more easily. And so that's why I started D25. So it doesn't have to be like life shattering or like something like dramatic financially or health wise or anything. It just share whatever it is. It doesn't matter what it is.
And share it often. That's what we're talking about. Because think of Lindsay Matway. I don't know if you guys know her story, but you should, because she tells it a lot.
Yeah.
About
like, how old is her daughter now? What, 6, 7?
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. And it's about after she had her baby. So she's been telling the same story for 6 or 7 years.
Right. And it's like, you hear it, but it's not like you're like, oh, Lindsay, here we go again. I don't mind hearing it again because I'm always like, oh man, that sucked. Like, I think people like to hear struggles, especially on social media when everything looks perfect. And you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think you've got to find those little small stories and continue to share them again and again and again, again and again, and it doesn't have to be like a huge one of those long posts either. You can casually be like, yeah, I know I did this, like, I can't remember what post it was, but a couple weeks ago, I was like, oh yeah, like, I did it pretty casual. It wasn't a very long post, but I said something like, yeah, this is pretty exciting because, it was like a couple weeks ago when I got my biggest paycheck ever. And I was like, yeah, I'm like, almost 2 years ago, I couldn't even afford groceries. And now this check will pay for a whole month's worth of groceries. Like, it was super simple, but it was just me sharing that same, like, I couldn't afford grocery story, you know? So find those little stories. And again, they don't have to be dramatic. They can be simple of like, I lost myself or whatever, or I'm passionate about fitness, or I need money for XYZ. Like I needed money for this, or I needed to get out of depression, or whatever your story is. Like figure it out, write it out, and then share it a lot. That's kind of what Nicole and I came to the conclusion. I was like, we got to share this all the time. Any thoughts on that or questions? Those were our biggest takeaways. Do you have any others, Nicole or Jody? Okay. So your assignment tonight is to go down, list your ideal client, which is basically like your future friend. That's the cool thing about this business is that we get to chit chat and make future friends. Like it's awesome. And so write down like your future friend, your ideal friend, your ideal coach, and get super, super specific. And then, and yes, Joel, and then write down the problems you're solving, and then write down some of your stories that you need to be sharing. So, yay.
I thought of one more thing.
What's that?
And it's just my takeaway from the cruise in regards to spouses. So, you know, sometimes it's really hard to share with them the excitement that we feel and for them to feel as well the drive that we have from these meetings or from listening to the top coaches or attending events, because they don't really get to witness that firsthand. And so these moments where they do, while it's a fun vacation, was completely motivating for my husband, who has been fine with me doing it, but now is like, all right, we've got to make this viable. We've got to make this go. We've got to do this, this, and this, and this with you, and is on board for assisting like my team a lot more than he was before. And I truly believe that's because he got to hear firsthand and witness those same experiences and really get that fire under him as well. Whereas, you know, he's not in any way wanting to, like, he still won't let me post like any photos of him or anything like that. But, you know, so it's just nice to know that it's a little bit of affirmation, I think, that what we are doing, you know, and the way that we do feel about it is viable, and that they can get a little piece of that too. And so that's another reason why I think it's important to get that trip.
Amen to that. Yeah, I totally think. Did your husband kind of get excited, Nicole?
Yeah, and even just a lot of the people that we met, you know, like we shared a cab with another coach and her husband, and we like hung out with them on the beach, and just him talking to other coaches' husbands and getting their perspectives and how they were getting involved. It's like that really got him excited. He played basketball with a bunch of different coaches' husbands, and it just kind of, yeah, it involved him, where before, like, he was totally supportive, but he wasn't involved in any way, shape, or form. And then also, I think he was super impressed with corporate and with Carl, which is huge, because a lot of times I think spouses can be kind of a downer about like, oh, it's an MLM, you know, things like that. And so getting to hear from Carl and Jeff Hill and Michael Neiman and kind of like, in a sense, get to know them and be like, dude, you work with like a really cool company. Like my company I work for is not like that. You know, that was super helpful too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think Matt, I don't know. It's hard to know what.
Matt's just cool with everything.
What?
Cool with everything.
You like that.
That's just so, everyone was like, your husband is so mellow. And that's just how he is. It's just like, cool.
Just, he's like, I'm here. Awesome. He's just a skater boy, right?
So, but I do think it gave him like bigger vision of how everything works. And he's always been really supportive, but I do think it just gives them their own little like testimonial about Beachbody. So yeah. Good point, Jody.
Yes, that's awesome.
All right, let's take a team picture, Joelle. Okay, everyone look at the camera. Who's taking it? Do I need to take it?
I don't know.
Can you guys take it?
I can take it. Hold on.
I don't know how to do that.
Hold on.
Jody, I really like your hair. I'm just saying.
Aww.
I really do. I'm like, it looks so good.
You're my favorite. Okay. Am I just screenshotting? Like, how did Ashley take a bunch yesterday?
I don't know. I think you just do Shift Command F3.
You guys
How do
already
you
take
get
a
all the
picture?
squares on your screen though?
Do you guys not have it in speaker
Set
view?
it up like that. Hold on.
Tell us when.
Fun.
Everyone's just sitting there shooting it.
Are you guys ready?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna take a bunch. I figured it out. Okay. 1, 2, 3. I think everybody looks lovely, but I'll take one more. Okay, 1, 2, 3.
Got to be in that one. Got to be in that one.
No,
You
wait.
guys, I want your vote. Should I go with bangs or no bangs? My son was like, you need to grow out your bangs.
I like you with bangs.
I know. I'm like, I don't know.
Now, Kelly, you need to get your bangs. Not that you look bad without them, but they're like signature.
Yeah.
I really love your photos when you don't have bangs too.
Really? We'll see. We'll see. I'm gonna post tonight and get everyone to vote.
Good, that's a good one.
Good one.
All right. This was a good meeting, you guys. Keep rocking it. Message me if you need any help hitting Success Club or your coach.
Okay.
Next Wednesday is the sneak peek, right?
Yes. And Monday we start the sneak peek into coaching group. And in April 4th, we're going to do a group called a spring cleaning group. We're going to call it spring cleaning. You can sell whatever challenge pack you want, but I'm going to promote the 3-day refresh challenge pack so that they do like a detox. And then I'll probably just give them like a meal plan with it. But we're just going to call it spring cleaning. Then you guys can advertise it however you want. Sound good?
You could also, depending on which one's on sale in April, but I think if you did it this week, you could also just promote any of the Kickstart ones because you could sell them a challenge pack with 3-day refresh before it in the Kickstart.
True, yeah. Although that one's more expensive.
It is more expensive, but if they want a challenge pack anyway, you could say, hey, you could also join me with the 3-day refresh at the beginning to kickstart your program. Because I have had quite a few people do that. Because it's not that much more. It's way cheaper than buying the 3-day refresh by itself. So
That's true. So I'm not going to promote that till I am done promoting this. This week, I'm going to promote the sneak peek. Next week, once I've got people in the sneak peek, I'm going to promote the spring cleaning group. So, all right. Have a good night. Bye, guys.
guys.